Hello and welcome back to my vlog where I've been sharing my authentic journey towards whole greater health in the hopes that some of the struggles and the things that I've been through and what I've learned along the way will help you in your own journey towards finding your true authentic self and your greater whole health. Hi, my name's Andrea Coulter, in case you don't know who I am, and I am a doctor of medical health and homeopathy, and I'm the founder of the IOME Healing System, which I will share a link below. You can check it out if you're interested. This week, I'm gonna move on, kind of finally getting out of my 20s. Again, if you haven't watched any of these and for some reason this one tagged you and you are jumping in for the very first time, I would suggest you go back and start at the beginning of this. This is really my chronological, timeline of what I've been through, from the time I got sick as a teenager, so my never been well since story, all the way through till where I am today. I said this has been really cathartic for me to go through and to share what I've been through with you in hindsight, because as we know, hindsight is 20/20. So I'm trying not to put that perspective on it. I'm trying to really remember where I was at that point in my life. My late 20s, as you know, I really struggled up to that point. I was finally starting to put some key pieces together. I was starting to be more attentive to my actual thoughts and how I was affecting my own life. I was doing tons of soul spiritual reading. I was diving into all kinds of different therapists at the time, sort of that new age movement that was just developing, looking at different ways and perspectives to look at my health issues, because the physical wasn't cutting it, and go back and find out why. And so a lot of these changes were really, really happening. And it was then that I finally found, my soulmate. I found somebody. I started dating this guy. It just happened by accident. And I'd been searching for years for that right relationship, and I had become pretty hard in the sense that, within a few weeks, if you weren't cutting it and you weren't making me feel great and I wasn't jiving and I wasn't getting something out of it, it wasn't resonating, I cut it off. I'm out of here. I don't need this hassle in my life. I already have enough shit on my plate right now without having to deal with a boyfriend that just was really just out for whatever he wanted. Been there, done that. And so for those of you who are maybe struggling with relationships or struggling to find that right person, hang tight. What I will say is this: be honest and true and authentic with yourself. That's what this is all about. And so, finding that right person it's important. It's a big part of who we are in life. And it's so vitally important that oh crap, I'm gonna run out of battery. So apologies if this doesn't quite flow together. I ran out of battery. My camera. It happens. Anyway, I was talking about finding my soulmate and what that really means. And this is where I was at, my mid-20s. I kind of found somewhat of a way, working on my stuff. And what's interesting about finding a soulmate is when I was in my teens and I was, small town, rural, watching my girlfriends all have boyfriends and date and go on these things, and I just felt like I'm never gonna find that person. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's the only time in my life that I actually journaled, and fairly consistently, and I have like 6 journals during my high school, kind of just out of high school years, where it's the only time I wrote, but it was like the most heart-wrenching, unrequited stuff of just, I'm never gonna be loved. So if you've been there, please share it with me, because I'm sure we all have been on some level. Because the point of being a human being is to connect with someone, to find somebody to love unconditionally and be unconditionally loved back. That's really what we're all searching for. We just want to be loved and to love. And so when what's interesting is I kind of been dating, but it was what it was. But I found people that I kind of connected with and seemed to be getting along, and then all of a sudden it went sideways, and I just decided I was out, and I actually moved. It was a boy thing that made me move from my one small town to the big city of London and just kind of start over, and that's where I was at. And I had a job and was, kind of happy. life was kind of going okay, kind of going the way I was, again, being an adult, I was making decisions that I wanted to do and figuring out how to make that happen. And that's what those, mid-20s were about. And then I met someone, and funny enough, always happens is when you finally like swear off of something, that's it, I'm not gonna date, I'm just gonna live my life for me. That's when I stumbled across this person. We happened to be at the same party and just connected. And that's really what it's about. It's finding somebody that you resonate with, that you connect with, that has the same values and beliefs and maybe ideals and goals in life at that point. And that's kind of where we were at. And so, funny enough, neither one of us wanted a relationship. We had both come out of relationships that we were done. And but we connected. And so we decided to be friends and just kind of see where it went, and go see the movies together and go do this together. And that's really how it kind of built along. Again, neither of us had any ideals. Neither of us were saying, oh my God, you're going to be the person we're going to marry. No, we didn't actually think that at all. We really we're just living our lives, but living it somewhat together. So no matter what, in this day and age, gender you are, or what you're looking for, or what you connect with, it doesn't matter. What matters is, on a true deep soul spiritual level, do you connect with that person? Do you resonate with that person? And if you resonate with that person, does it make you feel really good? Does that person lift you up and support you unconditionally? If they do, go for it. That's what this is about. If they don't, if on some level, don't settle. That's what I'm going to say. Don't settle. Just to have somebody in your life so that you don't feel alone, don't do it. It's not going to serve you in your highest and best way, ever. Even though it might make you feel good, maybe financially it supports you, maybe, I don't know why, but we all do it. We all kind of settle so that we feel more secure on some level. But the point of being on this authentic journey is to find that love and security within yourself. Do your due diligence and make your way for you. Your life is yours, and really only you give a shit about you the most. Nobody else does. And when you find somebody who can resonate with you on every level and can lift you up and support you unconditionally, those are the people you're supposed to be with. If they don't, then you need to move on. Wilhelm Reich is an amazing person. He was born in the 1800s, but wrote all of this incredible stuff about cosmic superposition and sexuality and as a human being, how we gain our energy and our power, our own authentic power through our own sexuality and connecting with that in a deep, true spiritual way. And so it's not about, don't give sex away for money. Don't, look for that sugar daddy and just be unhappy in life, but because you have what you want materially. If that's what works for you and truly you're happy doing that, yay you. However, my experience was I could not settle for somebody who was not going to unconditionally be there for me and on every level. And yeah, we have our ups and downs. And I will say this, it's 28 years later and we are still together. Even though we're growing and changing and we're doing our own thing on many different levels, we still can come together every single day, and we love each other and we support each other and we're here for each other, no matter what kind of crazy thing we want to do. I will say this, I do some crazy things and I have some crazy thoughts and beliefs, and which again, I never used to share, but I realized that, unconditionally my husband loves me because no matter what crazy shit I get into or thoughts or ideas or my own your own shit show, he supports me unconditionally because he knows that's what I want to do. And I do the same to him. No matter what he wants to do, if it makes him happy, I'll support him in that. And that's what a true resonant relationship is about. So in my mid-20s to later 20s is, what this vlog is about. And it's about finding that resonant person, the one that lifts you up and makes you feel good. That's what finding a partner is about in life. No matter what, gender they are. If they make you feel good and they want to support you unconditionally, then get involved in that relationship for sure and see where it goes. Whatever karmic journey that needs to be on. And again, whether it lasts 28, 30, 50 years, or it lasts a year. It doesn't matter. If you connect and you resonate, there's some reason you need to be together for however long. But I will say this, so one final tip for the end of this video is, and this is what I've learned, so reflecting back and then giving what I've learned out of all of this is, no matter what, your journey is your journey, and love you unconditionally the most of everyone. Even with, I mean, I love my kids totally to the moon and back, and I love my husband to the moon and back. However, if at some point in my life, you know, these relationships are not working for me, maybe, I don't know, they turn on me, or they're not being respectful of me, or they're not honoring me, I'll call them on it and ask for them to maybe work through it. But if somebody's not willing to work through it, because I don't know their journey, I don't know what my husband's ultimate life journey is and where he wants to go, but if it doesn't continue to resonate with me and it doesn't support me, and I don't feel I can support him, then you need to separate. That's truthfully what being a human being and being in life is all about, is find those relationships that work for you and let them work and let them unfold and do the work to make sure that they do work. However, if they stop working, no matter what you do, please do not beat yourself up and try to make it work. I'm going to fix that person. I'm going to make that person the person I want them to be. No, don't do that. You can't do that. You can only work on you. And we're going to talk a little bit further about that in the next one, because I talk about marriage and tragedy and how I really learned that life lesson. For this week, thank you so much for joining. I hope that you, again, hope you're following along. If you haven't watched some of the previous ones, I really highly suggest you go back and watch from the beginning. My Never Been Well Since, because it is a chronological view of my life and all that I've learned along the way in order, you know, of how we go through life, what we see at certain times in our lives, and why we see those things at certain times in our lives, and the life lessons that we can get from them. Subscribe to, you know, my YouTube channel. Please ring the little bell so you don't miss out on another one when they come out. And if you want, go on to Instagram, where I share lots of other tips and ideas, or my Facebook page, Holistic Healthcare. I'll share the link here. And if you want a little bit more emotional support or looking for some other healing tips and ideas, remember, I created the IOME healing system, and the link will be below. You can go check those out as well. Again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening and sharing along and making comments. I appreciate hearing all the struggles that you're going through too, because yeah, we're human and we're in this crazy ass journey together. So let's make the most of it. So until next week, be authentic, be empowered, and own it completely. Bye.